Alright, well, after updating our graphics driver, we're back now to do a breakdown of the Sweet 16. I'm GrayFox37.
And this is Pikachu23.
And, well, let's get the story going. Man, that Duke Central Florida game, holy cow. Even Coach K at the end was literally saying that the Knights should have won that game. He was just literally saying the Knights should have won that game, no contest, and I can't help but agree with that. I mean, that was just, I thought Central Florida had it. 3 chances at the end, and they blew it, and it was just really sad. I mean, I wouldn't have even been mad, honestly, because that would have, I mean, that came down, that was like the 2003 Arizona-Gonzaga game, where it went to double overtime, and Blake Stepp on Gonzaga had like 3 tip-ins that rimmed out, and Arizona ended up winning by a point, and then Arizona went on to play Notre Dame in the Sweet 16 and clean their clock. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing for the Duke Virginia Tech game. I think Duke's going to come in and like clean their clocks, basically. Like Virginia Tech played a good game against Liberty, but I gotta tell you, Duke now at this point is on a warpath, especially after that close of a game. I mean, it was Coach K at the end was really upset because that was a former assistant of his at Duke that coaches Central Florida, and that one Taco Hall kid was something. I'll tell you that. 7'6" behemoth.
Yeah.
I loved it when he did a putback jam, and all he had to do was just like a tiny little hop, and it's like, okay. So I think Duke's got a path to the Elite Eight pretty easy now. I don't think Virginia Tech's really going to stand a chance. Even though Virginia Tech did beat Duke in the regular season, Duke wasn't at full strength. So now that they're at full strength, I think they're on a mission now. So at least that's the way I look at it. Anything can happen, obviously.
Yeah.
That Maryland LSU game was something, I'll tell you that. LSU getting that last-second layup off there by Trayvon Waters, that was something there. So LSU's going to play Michigan State, who beat the stuffing out of Minnesota there, and that's going to be a good game. I think Michigan State's got the edge in the game. It's probably going to be like a back-and-forth game, and it could come down to the wire there, but LSU's going to probably push Michigan State. These are two battle-tested teams. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Michigan State beat up LSU, but again, it's March, so probably looking at a Duke Michigan State Elite Eight, which is going to be exciting. But we got Duke in that section there, so that's pretty much how I fared there. And going to Pikachu's picks here. Had Liberty advancing, but
unfortunately not. At least they did that last before this one. Real good game. So there you go. There's that.
Gonzaga Baylor was not really as close as the score there indicates. Even though Gonzaga won by 12, they just completely dismantled Baylor in that game. So they got a date with a shocking Florida State team that totally destroyed Murray State 90-62. That was quite a game there, and the Gonzaga Florida State game is going to be a good one. I'm really intrigued about this game now. I want to see. It's going to come down to basically, the same thing as the Murray State Florida State game, who perfects their craft well enough, offense or defense. So that's going to be a really good matchup there. I'm really looking forward to that on Thursday there. Texas Tech Buffalo was a shock. I couldn't believe that Texas Tech actually walloped Buffalo there.
I thought Buffalo was much better. What happened?
Yeah, Texas Tech just took it to the paint each time and got it in. So so Texas Tech's got a date with Michigan, and Michigan if Florida hung around for a bit, but Michigan took over. Yeah, that Texas Tech Michigan game's even going to be another one I'm excited for on Thursday. I mean, that's going to be quite a game there. Basically, I think it's going to come down to who shoots better in that one personally, but I got Texas Tech going up against Gonzaga in the Elite Eight there, and that would be great if Texas Tech could make it that far, because they pretty much impressed me this tournament. That West Virginia game was pretty much a fluke, and they've really shown themselves here. If they could beat Michigan, Gonzaga, or Florida State, whoever wins that game, better look out, because Texas Tech, I think, would, like, especially if Florida State beat Gonzaga, I think Texas Tech could beat Florida State and get in the Final Four at that point. So that could be, one hell of a game there. But, I mean, I won't be upset if Gonzaga loses, honestly. I think, though, Gonzaga's on a mission, too. So if Duke and Gonzaga get in the Final Four, whoever wins that game, I think, is going to win it all, honestly. That's what I think it's going to come down to. And it'd be nice if Gonzaga finally won, so Mark Few finally gets a championship there. So he fell short against North Carolina a few years ago.
Yeah.
So poor Pikachu. No Buffalo. No Buffalo.
I know, it was lame.
At least she's got Gonzaga coming out of that bracket. That's a good pick.
Yep.
Oklahoma, Virginia was kind of a boring game, but Virginia ended up winning by 12 there, so I wasn't really too surprised by that. Oregon was red hot behind the three-point line against UC Irvine, so if UC Irvine had shot better in that game, I really, really think they would have gotten it, but c'est la vie, as they say. Yep. So Virginia and Oregon, if Oregon wins that game against Virginia, which is possible if they shoot as hot as they did against UC Irvine, look out. That could be an interesting Elite Eight there, I'll tell you that. Oregon's got a chance. Oregon is really just overachieving right now, and they're doing it the right way. So we'll see if Virginia's defense kind of buckles down on the perimeter, and we'll see if Oregon can stay consistent beyond the perimeter, so we'll see what happens there. That Villanova-Purdue game surprised me. I didn't think Purdue was going to beat up Villanova as bad as they did, so Purdue's a ballin' team. They're peaking at the right time, and they're going to give Tennessee a very hard time in that Sweet 16 matchup there. Tennessee has been limping in the tournament. They had to go to overtime against Iowa. Admiral Schofield, though, being the senior badass that he is, really stepped up and started draining the shots. Purdue's got a chance to beat Tennessee. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I really think now that Purdue, I wouldn't even be surprised if Purdue won at this point. Tennessee is limping with all the talent they have. I mean, it's still going to be a good game, I think, but I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue won that. And that Elite Eight matchup, if it were like Oregon and Purdue or Virginia or Purdue, for example, that'd be one hell of a fight there, too.
Yeah.
And maybe Matt Painter might be able to get Purdue into the Final Four at that point. So Purdue's a sleeper for the Final Four. I'm just going to call it there now, just based off of what I've seen. So, but not too bad, minus that little ding there. And excuse me, here's Pikachu. Pikachu at least still has Tennessee there, so And Pikachu did pick Oregon to beat UC Irvine, so that's a little boost there. And then finally we go down to the Midwest. Boy, North Carolina killed Washington. That shocked me a lot. I really thought Washington was going to have a better chance there. And then it turns out Central Florida, out of all of them, was the one that came closest there. But they'll be playing a matchup against Auburn, who... Wow, what a game against Kansas. Man, did they beat them up bad. I mean, great defense, great shooting. North Carolina had better look out.
Yeah.
This Auburn team is starting to emerge as a sleeper in the Midwest, and I'm not going to be surprised if Auburn beats North Carolina. If Auburn can continue to buckle down on the D and shoot well from beyond the arc, this is going to be a team that has Final Four material written all over them. They're peaking at the right time too. Boy, Auburn-Purdue Final Four, that'd be something.
Yeah, right?
Two overachieving teams at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was, I thought either Kansas was going to go on a mission and win this and then become that sleeper, but Auburn is starting to wake up from the echoes there. Houston, not really surprised that they whomped on Ohio State there. Houston could very well have a date in the Elite Eight with North Carolina, more than likely. That's the prediction there. But Houston's really showing that the Cincinnati loss was a fluke as well. So I'm really proud for Houston there, and I'm really glad that they're in the Sweet 16. They have a tough Kentucky team ahead of them. Boy, that Wofford, I tell you, McGee going 0 for 12. If McGee had not gone 0 for 12, they would have destroyed Kentucky, and they would have, fulfilled my bracket.
Yeah, that was really disappointing to watch, right?
I mean, it was a 6-point loss, but it was much more disappointing than that score shows. I was really sad for Wofford in that. I really, really was hoping that Wofford would come out on top, because they had the lead for a while, and then it kind of started going back and forth there. But
unfortunately,
hey, what can I say? Kentucky proves that they're a championship caliber team. So we've got Kentucky, Auburn, Houston, North Carolina. I mean, one of those 4 teams could, it's just this is like the perfect regional semifinal here. This is like the perfect regional semifinal out of all 4 of them. This is like the one to really, really be on the lookout for, because there's, 3 very surprising teams there, whereas like in the South you've got 2 upcoming teams, and then in the East really not really much to be surprised about, and then in the West you've got possibly Texas Tech or Florida State even. So this is the most exciting right here, basically, is where it's at in the Midwest, which no surprise, because it was the toughest bracket, and everybody's like, oh, North Carolina got in the toughest bracket, no surprise there. When you're the 4th number 1 seed, you're going to be put into the toughest bracket.
Yeah, genius.
So you're not going to be in like the known regionals and whatnot, like Duke, Virginia, and Gonzaga were sent out to. So
Nope.
pretty quick analysis. What game are you looking forward most to?
I don't know. There's so many interesting ones.
Which one out of them really excites you the most?
I don't know. I'm kind of wondering where Purdue and Oregon are going to go.
There you go,
considering everything. And then Auburn's looking real hot. So I'm kind of just, I don't know. I kind of want to watch everything.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. No, that's
everything's going to be real exciting.
Yeah, that's sound there, but that's good focus. I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't have put so much pressure on one team or one game in particular, but that's pretty much just kind of a simple breakdown there of what we're looking forward to. So, the madness continues on Thursday and Friday, and then into Saturday. Then it continues into Saturday and Sunday for the Elite Eight, which are the regional finals. So we'll definitely be back to basically get everything covered after Friday night. So after work and workout and whatnot, we'll go ahead and do our Elite Eight stuff and just kind of break down the analysis of that. And then Sunday we'll be back to do the Final Four, take a look at the Final Four and everything. So we got that covered there. So basically, coming up next, I'm going to be we got some major stuff that happened in the world all over. Lots of winning for the conservatives, and and then basically really my EU got brothers out there. I pity what happened to you guys. So we'll be talking about that next. So thanks for joining us for the quick basketball. This is Gray Fox 37
and Pikachu 23,
and we'll see you soon.